Hey guys, so I'm in Kylie's room right now because Keenan is asleep, but I just wanted to talk about my false labor that I went into last night. I'm 36 weeks, so I'm due February 24th. I have a little less than a month left. So last night so I've been having contractions probably from like 32 weeks. I'll start with that. They're Braxton Hicks, but this is my third kid. So they have been a lot stronger than they normally were with them, I should say. And I feel like I got them earlier too. So, they definitely make me like slow down and catch my breath, but I can talk through them, which is like the sign of if they're real or not, whatever. So, and usually like I do get them throughout the day, really sporadically. I don't know. I get them often, and usually if I start getting them closer together, it's because I've been up doing something, like if I'm walking around a lot or I've been on my feet, or if I'm doing something, not just taking it easy. Like sometimes I'll start to get them more sporadically. I'll sit down, rest, and they kind of subside. But last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, I took the kids to Get Air, which is like a trampoline park with a friend. I sat there the entire time. The only time I got up literally was to go to the bathroom one time, and then when we left. So I was there, contractions started. They weren't coming super regularly, but they were there. So then we went to the apartment building that we have for the kids. They needed to clean up some stuff in the basement, so I was sitting in the car, literally sitting in the car reading. I went downstairs for a couple minutes to film them, like what they were doing down there and cleaning up and stuff. But that was it. I wasn't cleaning. I wasn't moving anything. I didn't lift anything, whatever. So, while I was in the car, I was having contractions more regularly. And they were getting like more painful. So I went to, I eventually started timing them. I have like an app, like a contraction timer, whatever. So I started timing them at like 7:45. No, was it 7? Maybe 6:45, I think. It was 6:45. I started timing them. We had stuff to do. I had a Walmart grocery pickup order I needed to get. I wanted to make dinner. That was out of the question. I'm like, I need to shower. So, cause I was like, if this is happening, like I want to get everything done. So we go to Walmart, get the grocery order. That's fine. I'm calling my friend. So she answers, the one who I have like on call for the kids. So she heads over to the house. We get home. We had picked up McDonald's for dinner because we're like, we didn't eat. We just need to get something. So we were eating. I took a shower. So after I got out of the shower, that had been like probably an hour after I had started timing my contractions. And they were about like a minute and a half each, average. And they were like 2 to 3 minutes apart for like that hour. And that was what they say, like if your contractions are 3 to 5 minutes apart, lasting over a minute for over an hour, like call in, whatever, especially if it's not your first kid. So I'm like, okay, so I took a shower and then was eating, and I was like, they had subsided in the shower, like they were kind of going away. And I was like, well, I had already called the doctor at that point, or the on-call people. I was waiting for the doctor to call me back, or whoever, whatever, who was going to call me back. So I'm waiting and eating, and then it just starts getting worse again, and they start getting a lot more crampy, and closer together again. So like for another hour, they happen again. The doctor calls me and she's like, are you dehydrated? I'm like, literally no, I drink a ton of water. They're like, is your pee clear? I'm like, my pee is clear. I peed and it was like clear. I'm like, I'm not dehydrated. She's like, well, you can wait it out and see like if they get stronger. She's like, if you can't talk through them or whatever, or you can come in and get checked if you want to. So I was like, my friend was already over for our other kids. I was like, let's just go into the hospital and get checked. So we waited a little bit still. I was like, let me put the groceries away, like get everything situated, get the car seat in the car and the bags just in case. So we did that. We get to the hospital like a little after 8, and then Keenan had forgotten his wallet at home, so they wouldn't let him back. So I just go back. He goes home to get his wallet because he needed his ID. So we go there. There's like nobody there, which was amazing. Like, so we get there, they're like, okay, do a urine sample, blah, blah, blah. They hook me up to the monitors. Baby heartbeat looks great. Everything looks, my vitals, everything looks great. Then the resident comes in and he's like, just asking me questions. He's like, well, you know, you're only 36 weeks. So, and to go back a little bit, I had asked my doctor at my last appointment, like, I keep feeling like I'm going to go early just because I've been having contractions a lot stronger. And she was like, that's really normal for like your second or third kid. Like your body knows what it's doing. It's going to prepare earlier. It's going to be stronger. So she was like, that's normal. You've had 2 full-term babies. Like the chance of you going early is really rare. So I'm like, okay, like, and then, you know, when I get to the hospital, I'm thinking, well, maybe they miscalculated my due date, because before I had my first ultrasound, I had thought I was like 8.5 weeks. And then when they did the ultrasound, I was only 7 weeks. So that would have meant I would have found out that I was pregnant at 3 weeks, based on what they're calculating on my due date being February 24th. So I was like, well, maybe like I'm further along than they thought. But at my 20-week ultrasound, like I was still measuring at like the 20-week mark. So I've been measuring on, and I haven't had an ultrasound since then. So anyway, so the doctor comes in, or the resident comes in, and he's like, you know, he's like, if your cervix is, you know, he said it's normal if this is like, you're not your first kid, to be even like 1 to 2 centimeters dilated your entire pregnancy. Like some women just stay like that because like your cervix is like ready or whatever. So he said, that could be normal, but he said the way we tell if you're in labor is if that's like changed at all, or if that's changing, whatever. And of course, when I get to the hospital, my contractions have stopped. I get my urine sample, all that, my contractions stopped. So anyway, so he checks my cervix. So painful, because I guess like it was all, he's like, everything is still really far up. He felt the baby's head. He's like, baby's head is down, but he was like, I can't, like, he really had to get in there to like feel how my cervix was and everything. And so he finally got it. He had to like end up pushing the baby down like a little bit. He's like, let me push the baby down a little bit to see like if I can feel. Anyway, I'm not dilated at all. Cervix was like, I don't know what he said, 40% effaced maybe, I don't know. He said it's normal for your cervix to be softer when you've had other kids. I don't know. So basically not in labor at all. He's like, you know, no water, no blood, nothing else happened. He was like, with these, because I was telling him about my cluster contractions too. Like I like feel like I'm having one, and then like I'm like, did it even end? And now I have like another strong urge. And he said that's common with Braxton Hicks, like these cluster ones, and then they go away. So that was it. So then they let us go home. We were only there for like maybe an hour. It was very fast. They said he called the doctor. She was like, I'm comfortable with you going home. So that was it. And it's funny because I had the same thing happen with Cameron. I don't think my contractions were that close together though when I went in with him, because I was like 35 weeks. I went in and I had just gone to Hershey Park the day before, so we had walked a ton. And so I think that's what set my contractions off. But with him, I was more nervous because with Kylie, I was induced. So like I never went into labor. So I didn't know what to expect with Cameron. So like I went in at that point, and then they were like, yeah, no, you're fine. Call if you have these, you know, they're certain amount apart and whatever. And I had gone in with him because I was right at my due date, and I didn't even know what this was, but apparently it was like, they call it crotch lightning, like shooting pains going from like, I feel like it's like in your butt. And I had gone in because I think it was like I was past my due date, or I had him like right on or around. I think it was like the day after I was due. So I had those pains, and I was like, let's just go in. So that's when I went in the hospital with him, and they were like, oh, you're 3 centimeters dilated. Like we're gonna have the baby today or whatever. So that's what happened with Cameron. So my water never broke. They broke my water with both of them. So I don't know. I'm really hoping that with this one, my water just breaks on its own, so I can just be like, okay, let's just go to the hospital. Because the timing of the contractions is hard. So I think next time. I'll wait to see like if they just are super strong, because you know, I was uncomfortable, and I definitely, my stomach felt like different. It felt tighter than it had normally been. So I was just like, you know what, let's just go in. I think also like you get excited, you're like, oh, I'm just ready. But he's like, you know, if your baby came out now, he would need extra support. And so I'm thankful that he didn't come yet, but we are excited to meet him. We did decide on a name, Kason James, so we're really excited about that. But yeah, I will keep you guys posted. So I am still pregnant, and hopefully, I'm like, you know, we still have stuff we want to get done. I still have stuff on my calendar, so each day we're trucking along like, all right, if it happens, it happens. We're prepared for baby, and we'll make the adjustments as needed. But I am excited, and hoping we can make it through Valentine's Day. And then after that, it's smooth sailing. But yeah, I'll show you belly pic. So here I am, put that up, 36 weeks. And oh, another funny thing was, when I was timing the contractions, this was another thing. It kept saying, like, at first it was like, your contractions are close together, like, think about going to the hospital, especially if this isn't your first kid. So then as I kept timing them, it gave me like multiple notices, like, go to the hospital. And I'll try to insert a picture of those here. And so it gave me those multiple times, and I was like, okay, yeah, like, I guess we should just go. The app knows better. But false alarm. So hopefully the next time I go back to the hospital will be when we have the baby and everybody's healthy. And yeah, but we're excited to meet him, and I will show you. We took some pictures of us like before we went to the hospital, so I thought that was cute. My friend who came, she was like, let's take pictures, just, you know, when you go in. So we have those at least, because I haven't really taken a lot of bump pictures at all. But that is it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll keep you posted on all of the other things that are happening. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find out all the cool information, how we transition as a family, and more stuff to come. Bye.